This is a video for lesson 6926 on how to add fractions with the same denominator. This is a topic you would already know. So first question here is shade 2/5 of the circle below. So we've got 5 equal sections. To shade 2/5 of it means that we are shading 2 out of every 5 sections. So in this case, we are shading 2 sections. Then it says shade another 1/5 of the circle. So we are going to shade one more portion of it, one more fifth of it. How much of the circle is shaded in total? So we have 5 sections. We shaded 3 of those sections. So the total shaded area here is 3/5. Then we are looking at adding 2/9 to 4/9. Because we have a common denominator, we just need to add the numerators, which is 2 and 4. So 2 plus 4 is 6, and then the denominator stays 9. Now 6/9, you will notice, is not the simplest form of this fraction, because both 6 and 9 are in a 3 times table. So we are going to divide both by 3, and then we end up with 2/3, or 2/3, as our simplest answer. Then the next question is 12/15, take away 3/15. So if I do this underneath here, the denominator again on both fractions is the same. So 12 take away 3 is all we need to do, which is 11. So let's write it out again. 12/15 take away 3/15. So 12 take away 3 gives us 9. Over the denominator stays the same, so that's 15. And again, check, do they go into the same times table? And yes, they do. It's going to be the 3 times table again. So I can simplify by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So the answer to this question is 3/5. And the last example is, we've got a missing fraction here. 3/20, add something, has to be 16/20. And it says that you need to give your answer in its simplest form, so you must simplify it at the end, which is what we saw up here as well, which is why I simplified them. So the denominators match here, so that means that the denominator will be 20 in the missing fraction as well. And you need to figure out what you add to 3 to get 16, and that is the number 13. So we're looking at 13/20. Now 13 and 20 don't have a common factor, so this is the simplest answer. This lesson has a second objective, which is adding fractions with different denominators. So let's start with this example here. First of all, we need to shade half of the circle. So it's broken up into 4 parts. Half of the circle is going to be this section here. And then, if you continue reading, then shade 1/4 of the circle. So now there are 4 parts, and out of that we need to shade 1 of those 4 parts. Shade the area that you haven't yet shaded. So we're looking at just one section here. So this bit here is 1/2, and this bit here is 1/4. Now explain how you could use this to work out 1/2 add 1/4. So if we look at the diagram, the circle itself has 4 equal sections, and out of those 3 sections are shaded. So the answer to this question here is 3/4. And the way we can use this diagram is exactly as I've just explained, and we can also tell that a half is the same as 2 quarters as an equivalent fraction. Now let's put this in practice by adding some fractions with different denominators. Looking at 2 examples here. So the first one is a quarter add 1/18, 16 even. Give your answer in its lowest terms. So again, we need to check at the end if we can simplify the fraction. Now, when you add fractions, you must have a common denominator. So we're looking at the lowest number that we can multiply these two into. So 4 can actually be multiplied to make 16. So we are going to use 16 as our common denominator, which means that the second fraction stays as it is. Then 4, to get to 16, we multiply it by 4. So that means we need to multiply the numerator by 4 as well. So 1 times 4 is 4. And now we have common denominators, which means we just add the numerators. 4 plus 1 is 5 over 16. 5 and 16 do not have a common factor, so I cannot simplify it. That's the final answer. And here's another one. We've got 3/20 add 3/4. Give your answer in its simplest form again. Now, if you look at 20 and 4, once again, 20 is in both of these times tables. So 20 is a multiple of 4, and 20 is also a multiple of 20. So that will be our common denominator. Now, that means the first fraction this time doesn't change. And the second fraction, 4, must be multiplied by 5 to get to 20. So 5 times 3 is also something we have to do, which is 15. And now you've got 3 add 15 is 18, and the denominator stays as 20. We must have simplest form as an answer. So these two are definitely in the 2 times table. So let's divide them both by 2. So we're simplifying by 2, which gives us 9 over 10. And a 9 and 10 do not go in the same times table, so I cannot simplify anymore. And that's the end of this video.